Hello friends, this is your movie gallery. Today we are talking about Hostel. In a post-apocalyptic world, Juliet drives across a desolate landscape, scavenging for anything that might aid her survival. When she comes across a cluster of abandoned vehicles, she meticulously searches every corner, even checking the gas tanks, but finds nothing of use. After spending some time gazing at the sea, she continues her journey and eventually arrives at a gas station. Armed with a gun, she rifles through the shelves in search of food, but her efforts are fruitless. Suddenly, the ceiling begins to tremble, and the growls of a monster, known as a Reaper, resonate from the upper floor. Juliet quickly decides to leave. While driving, she contacts her friend Harry, a fellow member of her survivor group. She informs him that her battery is running low and mentions she'll take a shortcut to make it back to their base. A short while later, she halts her vehicle upon spotting an abandoned RV and approaches it for a closer inspection. She finds a gravely injured man. Pointing her gun at him, she demands to see his wound and inquires about the Reaper's whereabouts. The man reveals that he has trapped the creature inside the RV. He also mentions that there are cans of food inside before pleading with her to end his suffering. Instead, Juliet states that she needs to save Bullet, leaving him to die as she uncovers his wound. Juliet then enters the RV, causing the vehicle to shake a lot as she struggles, but ultimately killing the creature with a shot. When she comes out, she finds that the man has passed away. After gathering all the supplies she can, Juliet hits the road again, glancing at a photograph of herself with a man. Suddenly, a gust of wind sweeps the picture away, diverting her attention as she tries to retrieve it. This distraction causes her car to veer off the road, flipping several times before landing upside down. Juliet faints and drifts into a dream about her life before the apocalypse. In her memory, on a rainy day, she visited an art gallery, unable to comprehend the meaning behind the paintings. The gallery owner, Jack, the man from the photograph, approached her. Sensing her confusion, he asked about her interest in art. Juliet confessed that she had only come in to escape the rain and grab some free food. Jack found Juliet intriguing and shared a drink with her, explaining how to appreciate the beauty in the paintings. Back in the present, Juliet wakes up to discover her leg is fractured and stuck in the seat. The darkness outside signals the imminent arrival of the Reapers, leaving her vulnerable without her gun, which has fallen out of reach. Juliet attempts to move her leg, but the pain is unbearable, so she tries using the radio instead, only to discover it's not working. Using a stick and some wire, she manages to nudge the gun closer, but her makeshift tool breaks before she can grab it. A flashback reveals Jack leaving the gallery opening to grab a meal with Juliet. She accepted his invitation to his apartment, where she was amazed by its elegance and luxury. There, she stumbled upon Jack's sketches, which showcased his remarkable artistic talent. As they enjoyed wine and cheese, Jack opened up about his family drama and how he managed the inheritance. Juliet shared that she had no family. Jack's probing questions made her uneasy, prompting her to leave. In the present, Juliet decides to endure the pain. She uses a pipe to free her leg, fashioning a tourniquet and cleaning the wound with alcohol before painfully resetting the bone. A new memory surfaces, showing Juliet in a bar with a stranger. She noticed Jack was there but chose to ignore him. After leaving with the stranger, Jack followed them, only to see the man paying Juliet for some substances. The man tried to kiss her, but she angrily rejected him. Jack continued to tail her onto a train and eventually into a seedy neighborhood, where Juliet purchased more substances, confirming she was dealing. Confronted by Jack, she allowed him into the building, where she paid another dealer before entering her apartment. Jack, seeing her dire living conditions, offered his help, but Juliet snapped, rejecting charity. When she tried to force him out, Jack refused to leave until she revealed she was also an addict. This revelation drove Jack away. Returning to the present, Juliet crafts an improvised cast using materials from the car. She then works on fixing the radio, but no one responds. As she listens carefully, a Reaper's growls approach. Juliet crawls out, retrieves her gun, and hides in the car. She remains silent as the Reaper lingers near. Suddenly, Harry's voice crackles through the radio, drawing the creature's attention. Forced to act, Juliet tosses the radio out of the vehicle. The Reaper finds it and discards it before nearing her car again. Just as it seems ready to enter, another sound in the distance diverts its attention, and it leaves. Afterward, Juliet reloads her gun and slips into another memory. One night, She showed up at Jack's place, bruised and battered. Without judgment, Jack cleaned her wounds and let her rest. The next morning, over breakfast, Juliet asked if she could go for a walk. Jack, suspecting she needed a fix, locked the door, refusing to let her leave until she detoxed. Enraged, Juliet trashed his apartment, screaming in frustration. Jack waited patiently, then embraced her, calming her with a kiss. Back in the present, Juliet finds glow sticks and uses them to check for nearby reapers. Seeing none, she ventures out to retrieve the radio. Suddenly, an eerie noise makes her tense. She throws glow sticks in all directions until she spots a reaper perched on her car. Without hesitation, she shoots it and scrambles back inside. Moments later, the reaper surprises her by ripping off the window cover. Terrified, Juliet tries to move, but the reaper grabs her leg. She starts the car and slams the accelerator, causing the spinning wheels to injure the creature. The reaper retreats, and Juliet tries to shoot it but misses. As she surveys the area, the reaper sneaks in through the opposite window. It growls, startling her into firing another shot. Once the reaper flees, Juliet attempts to fix the radio again, but her shaky hands hinder her efforts. With no alcohol left to steady her nerves, she struggles. Another flashback unfolds, showing Jack and Juliet as a couple moving into a new house. Juliet, visibly anxious, was comforted by Jack, who touched her face to make her smile. He gave her a tour, pointing out a room for their future children, which made Juliet visibly uneasy. Jack often wondered if Juliet would ever tell him that she loved him, but Juliet simply replied that he already knew the answer. Back in the present, Juliet repairs the radio and manages to contact Harry. Although the connection is poor, she explains her situation and asks for assistance. Harry mentions something about a beacon before the signal cuts off. Searching through the car, Juliet finds a box containing a beacon, realizing she'll need to read the manual to figure out how to activate it. While she works, memories resurface about the day she discovered her pregnancy. Both she and Jack were overjoyed when the test showed positive, but tragically, 9 months later, their baby passed away during childbirth, leaving them to return home to an empty nursery. In the present, Juliet successfully activates the beacon. She quickly barricades the windows, just in time for the Reaper's return. The creature spots her through the windshield, then moves to the side window, attempting to push through. Juliet fights back, using her feet to keep it out. Frustrated, the Reaper begins slamming into the car instead. At that moment, Juliet receives another call from Harry, who reassures her that help is on the way and reminds her that light is effective against the Reapers. However, Juliet's flashlight is broken, leaving her at a disadvantage. Suddenly, a loud crash draws her attention. The Reaper has shattered the windshield and is now advancing from the front. Thinking quickly, Juliet manages to turn on the car's headlights, and the intense brightness drives the creature away. After the immediate danger passes, Juliet contacts Harry again. This time, Harry informs her that rescue won't arrive until sunrise, as it's too risky to travel such a distance at night. This news triggers another memory. Since losing the baby, the tension between Jack and Juliet had grown unbearable. One day, overwhelmed, Juliet fled. Jack found her, and during their ensuing argument, Juliet admitted she had never wanted a child, accusing Jack of pressuring her into parenthood. Enraged, Jack stormed off, intending to take the subway alone. He blamed Juliet's past addiction for their baby's death and, in his anger, ended their relationship. Back in the present, Juliet hears an engine in the distance and begins honking the car horn to attract attention. Two men on a motorcycle stop near her vehicle. One of them enters, claiming he wants to help. However, his true intentions quickly become clear. He's a cannibal intending to kill her. A struggle ensues as Juliet fights to prevent him from stabbing her. Suddenly, the Reaper returns, dragging the man out of the car and crushing his skull. The second man immediately flees on the motorcycle, while Juliet watches the Reaper devour the body. Another flashback begins. Following her argument with Jack, Juliet went to a bar to drown her sorrows, ignoring his repeated calls. While drinking, she saw a news report on TV about a chemical attack at a subway station that had claimed over 30 lives. Her phone rang again, this time from an unknown number. It was a hospital, informing her that Jack had been injured in the attack. Panicked, she rushed to the hospital. Back in the present, Juliet picks up her gun, contemplating ending her own life, but memories continue to flood in. At the hospital, Juliet learned that Jack could no longer speak, but he found ways to communicate. Through the protective curtain, he touched her face in their special, familiar gesture. Then, using a writing board, Jack managed to tell her, "I love you." For the first time, Juliet replied, "Me too." Jack then made her promise never to give up, a vow that inspires present-day Juliet to lower her gun. Determined to honor that promise, she grabs a flare and 2 gas canisters before stepping out of the car. She pours gas over one container and ignites the flare, waving it to draw the Reaper's attention. As the creature approaches, Juliet cautiously backs away, waiting for it to get close to the container. Once it's in position, she shoots the canister, causing a massive explosion. Unfortunately, the Reaper escapes the blast just in time. Frantically scanning her surroundings, Juliet tries to locate the creature. Without warning, it appears behind her, causing her to drop her gun. Panicked, she fights off the creature's thin, bony arms and retreats to the car. However, the Reaper seizes her injured leg, causing fresh blood to pour from the wound. Desperately reaching for her gun, Juliet struggles as the creature pulls her out of the vehicle and hurls her to the ground. Summoning her strength, Juliet fires 2 shots, striking the Reaper and sending it crashing to the ground. As the creature lies motionless, Juliet breaks down, overwhelmed by memories of returning to the hospital only to find that Jack had passed away. His sudden death left her shattered, spiraling into despair. Back in the present, the morning finally comes and the Reaper starts moving. Unfortunately, Juliet has run out of bullets. The creature climbs on top of her, but instead of attacking, it gently touches her face. In that moment, Juliet realizes the horrifying truth. This Reaper is Jack. This triggers a memory about the day they met. Jack talked about fate, bringing people together, and to prove his interest, he closed the gallery to leave with her. In the present, Juliet hugs Jack while finally telling him that she loves him. After putting a new bullet in the gun, she pushes their heads against each other to end things and go into the afterlife together. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this.